I don't want to see you back here unless you're bringing your wife's cobbler.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
That's fair. All right, so we're back with part 2 of our breakdown of the Nikki Sparks 2016. Yeah. How do you say that? That's all correct, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, this movie's melted my brain. Yeah. The Choice.
If you have the choice to watch this or not, choose not to.
Choose no on The Choice.
Yep.
So yeah, we're back for part 2. We're just gonna get right back into it. We had so many questions to answer from the end of part 1.
Yep.
We're gonna do our best to answer all of them for you.
Yeah.
But if we don't apologize. So
that's true. Never apologize. When we last left our heroes, I'm gonna lead us in because I missed one of my favorite quotes in the movie.
Get it?
Right when they're right before the sex scene in the kitchen, she screams at him, "Sometimes I just want to stomp on your foot," like right before they start kissing. Remember that? What a weird thing to say.
I mean, yeah, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
like so many other ways to threaten a person. I've never heard anything like that in my life. Sometimes I just want to stomp on your foot. Instead, he responds by kissing her. So
yeah,
it all works out. Yeah. After that, it's the next morning apparently because we're still not doing transitions, thankfully.
Yes.
And he's gone.
He gone. Yeah.
And he just like left her a note. He's like, "Had to go to work. Sorry." And she's like,
"XOXO." Yeah.
What a dreamboat. Like she's like, for some reason, really happy about this.
Yeah, and he does the same thing. He leaves a note around her dog's collar. So really these dogs are used as pawns in this love triangle here. And then she checks her messages and we got a message from Ryan. "Hey, it's me. I'm just having drinks with the bros, gonna go golfing," or something like that. I don't know what he said.
No, he's like, "I'm working hard. Love you, babe. Miss you."
All I hear was blah, 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 blah.
Poor Ryan. No, he's like, "I love you. I can't wait to be home with you again. See you soon."
Just really lay it on thick there. And then we're at the vet.
Yep.
And this is now we kind of transition to kind of our secondary story here of Shep here, where he's trying to find love.
Yeah.
At this point in the movie, we kind of know that obviously mom's no longer with us. They haven't explicitly said it, I don't think yet, but it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And there's a client that keeps showing up with the same dog, and Travis is like, "Miss Alice, what in Wonderland there? She keeps showing up with Starsky and Hutch," or whatever the dog's name is.
Oh God, no! What was the
Butch
dog's
Cassidy
name?
or something? It was
no. Oh man, I was going to write it down, but I thought you'd remember. Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
I would have forgotten about the dog too, unless you.
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, you know, this woman just keeps showing up with a dog there, Starsky and Hutch or whatever, every week. The dog is the most healthy dog there is out there. So, obviously, this is a sign that lady's got the hots for Shep, for Daddy Vet,
Dr. Daddy,
Dr. Daddy, and God damn it, and then Cora, the receptionist, also like, "You got to ask that woman out."
Classic.
And Dad's he's feeling a little.
He's like, "All right." And then they're like, "No transition motorcycle." Wait, what?
Yeah, this is straight from a kissing booth, right? We got a little motorcycle ride. And then they get caught in the rain, just like the kissing booth. And they're hanging out underneath a tree, and she's spinning.
Just like the kissing booth.
Just like the kissing booth. There's a gazebo, just like the kissing booth later.
Yep.
She hears some gospel music kicking, and she's like, "Let's go." And he's like, "No."
He's like, "What?"
And then they head into the church, and he's like, I'm not.
He's like really mad about it out of nowhere, and I understand why.
Yeah, and she's just like, "Hey, I do all these things that you want to do."
Yeah, she's like, "We rode your motorcycle, so now we have to do something that I want."
Go to church? Like that's what? That's kind of, let's pump the brakes here. Like, yeah, I don't think those equate.
No, not at all.
And then they're there, and gospel's all going on, and he's still like uncomfortable, and then Dad's there.
Yeah, not just Dr. Daddy, that's Dr. Reverend Daddy?
I think
Pastor Daddy? Pastor Daddy.
Dr. Pastor Daddy. That's him. He's there, and he's and then we're like, oh, okay. And he says something about birthday, but doesn't say whose, right? He says something about someone's birthday there. It's the mother's birthday. I don't know. It's the mother's birthday technically, but
okay.
Which ties to a very weird scene that's going to happen shortly. Anyway, so
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, church lets out. They're walking out, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were Pastor Daddy," and he's like, "I am." And we got a pretty good dad joke, pretty hardcore dad joke here, because the son never comes to church, whatever, and
right.
And he's like, Travis is like, "Hey, you're not gonna give me shit for not, for being here, for not being here, blah blah, not coming, or whatever." And Dad's like, "No, we're just talking about the weather. Look at the weather. After the rain, the sun hath returned."
Yeah, it's the worst.
I wanted to get that in because it was just.
I know. It's the best part of the movie, maybe.
And then we're back at the house grilling.
Okay, well, then we get like a small amount of exposition there with Dr. Pastor Daddy to Gabby being like, "Well, the boy hasn't gone to church since his mother died."
Yes.
And she's like, "What?" But then like he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll tell you more in a couple scenes."
Yeah, because he doesn't drop the mother's dead thing.
Oh, I thought he dropped the dead mom thing. No, okay.
Maybe, I don't know, because like when they're talking on the chairs later, the dad. Well,
right.
Now I guess.
Now,
she's like, "Oh, I didn't know it was your birthday,ay," and he's like, "Oh, it's not my birthday. It's Catherine's birthday. Okay. Oh, my wife who passed away when she was 42 and he was 14, and
okay. So I guess he just says like he stopped going to church when he was young.
Yeah. And then that's when the dad gives a little more filler about Travis and why he doesn't like going to church, because I'm guessing the Lord took my mama.
Yeah, probably.
So,
got 2 steaks.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
Get some T-bones. Oh, ooh, too soon. T-bone happens later.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
It's
full of jokes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you write that one ahead of time? Or?
No, actually, I just said it and it just popped in my head.
Good work.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Right now, it's just a couple sirloins. Medium rare. Yeah, so they do this. And then there's a cake moment. So we got...
Well, so before that, because this is when basically... Stephanie, the sister's complaining to Travis about something. He's like, "Well, I can't believe you invited Gabby to Mom's birthday." And he's like, "I don't know, Mom's birthday." Or like maybe the other way around. She invited Gabby to Mom's birthday. Or the dad invited Gabby.
I don't know.
No, either way.
The dog did with a note. The dog brought a note to Gabby.
Exactly. Everyone's pissed that she's there. At the it seems like it.
What is it, Moby? It's a birthday? It's a birthday in a well?
Gabby's in the well, yeah.
It's a birthday for a dead woman?
Yeah.
That's weird. But I'll go. Sure, I'll put on my nice dress and this pointy hat. Dude.
Yeah. So Gabby and Dr. Pastor Daddy are hanging out in the Adirondack trees drinking wine, and that's when they start doing all the exposition.
Yeah, we got
the
cancer
mom and
yep.
Died in Travis 14, blah blah blah.
Yep.
That's when Daddy found Jesus and Travis turned away from the church.
Yes.
And they're like, "All right, well, time for food." Right? Like, Stephanie brings out the cake.
And we have the cake with a single candle on it. I guess this is a thing. I don't know. I guess people do. Maybe they do this for really important people that have passed. I don't know. Family.
Nobody I know does that, but
yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not going to knock it. Hey, if that's what you need every year as a memory. I guess that's
a fine tradition. I guess
But the next part is kind of the weird tradition,
right?
So having a cake and celebrating, that's fine. Do whatever. But then Gabby's like, first of all, she's a little aggressive to go cut this cake, which, whoa, you don't get to cut this cake. Let's back off here. It's easy. I know it's cake. It's chocolate cake. It looks delicious. I want some too, but pump the brakes there. Yeah. It's just not the nice thing. It's very uncouth.
Fair enough. We're couth boys, as we know.
Yeah. And so then there's a tradition that the family says about putting the cake into new people's faces, which doesn't make any sense.
They're like, well, not new. They're like, it's just a special person. They're like, oh, like it's like somebody's like they need to decide whose face it's going to be. That's like that's a factor for some reason. And he's like, what? Everyone's like, well, as the new girl, it might as well be you. And so he's about to cake her in the face,
But she pulls a reversal.
Reverso cakes him in the face.
And then he reversals her reversal. So we get cake and
by making out with her in front of his dad, who turns away uncomfortably.
Yes. And his sister.
Happens in the movie.
Yes.
Weirdly.
Yes. And the sister's like, get it, little brother. No,
yeah,
what? No.
Okay. It's gross.
Okay. So
no, it's weird.
It's really weird, right? The whole cake thing is weird. And then the dog gets up there, eats some chocolate, and needs to go to the vet immediately.
They're vets, right?
Yeah. Don't. Yeah, come on.
Fools.
Long story short, a waste of a perfectly good cake, which we called out in Trailer Trash.
That's right.
So
yeah, we're big cake fans.
Big cake fans. So
yeah, the band and the food. And then they let dad like drunk drive home.
Yeah,
like,
sad dad.
Like
it's like sad dad, drunk dad.
They're like, wait, you guys are just gonna then Gabby's like, you guys are just gonna let him drive home? And they're like, no, he's going to see mom. Like, wait, so you're still gonna let him drunk drive to the cemetery? Like, what are you like?
So we went from Dr. Vet Daddy to Pastor Daddy to Saddy Daddy to Drunky Daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all going downhill.
He goes and like pulls some flowers out of the garden, presumably for his dead wife, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Travis like, all right, well, I'm gonna go do the dishes. Gabby's like, okay. Like the script is so bad, listeners. Yes. I don't think you can understand. Like, please don't watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's very hard to stitch together these moments because they just kind of like plop.
Okay,
I'm gonna go do dishes. Like, what? Was that important? That no one cares.
They kiss each other. Like it's like they're acting like they've been dating for years, and they've again known each other for maybe a week.
Yeah, and this is where I was like, wait, how many weeks was Ryan away for? Because I feel like a lot has happened in let's call it a week. Let's just say the first week. Yeah. But I don't even think it's been that long.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And so then this is like another transition. They're like sunset, beach, boat.
More boat. Yeah, boat shots. Yeah. He's inside doing dishes, right?
Which this is hours later. Like he was like, oh, the dishes will only take a few minutes. And when he went inside, it looked like it was like early mid-afternoon, maybe. Now it's pitch black outside. Like it's heavy nighttime. He's still doing dishes. Like how long did this take?
Yeah, or is it I think maybe it was a next day transition thing. Right, because
he just does dishes all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's Southern charm. It's what you got to do.
Yeah,
Southern hospitality. Well, there's a moment he's doing dishes and he's looking out at her at the porch while she's playing with the dog, right? And she's doing a thing with the dog with a head and the.
Yeah. And I thought that was like later that night though.
And I think it was just like the next day. It was like another moment in their lives.
This movie stinks.
Yeah,
and this is like halfway roughly through the movie.
Yes,
unbelievable.
So then they're in bed, right?
We barely had one choice so far.
Yeah,
the only choice that she's made is to cheat on her boyfriend, right? Like that's about it so far.
Yeah, pretty much. And his choice to lie to that little girl about the lizard. That's a big choice.
Right. His choice to lie about the lizard. That's right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
So they're in bed, and he's like, "Hey, I want to show you something." And they get into this rowboat, and I was like, maybe this will take a good turn. And they're like, oh, this is where he hides all the women's bodies that.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Right? He's like, I want to show you something. And it takes a left-hand turn right into like a horror movie.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
It doesn't do that. He brings her to some creepy tree island. And then.
Yeah. And this is like 3 minutes maybe to get there. Like he's just like him rowing like at night. He's just like, yep, just rowing.
Just staring at her.
Oh, okay.
No conversation.
Wicked unnecessary transitions.
Why do we need this oil lamp? Don't worry about it.
He's making the noises with his mouth.
Why are you making that noise?
Rowing's very quiet.
It's very quiet. Yeah, don't worry about it. I just want to fill the silence.
Welcome to my island.
Welcome to my island with creepy trees.
Yeah.
This is where I play fantasy. I am the Lord of the Rings here.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And then he leads her to a beach on the other side of the island. He's like, and basically this is his happy place. This is where he goes to get away from.
This is where I want to come when I want to be alone. I wanted you to be here.
That's a weird line.
And she's just like, it's unbelievable.
Because he's like, I knew you'd love the moon and the stars because you said that earlier, but you're not sure what they're made out of other than cheese.
Yeah. She's like, if you can explain the stars to me, I'll stop believing in God. It's like, well, it's like a bunch of hydrogen.
Yeah,
usually.
it's like just a lot of gases combined, and
and plasma.
We've actually figured them out for the most part.
Nuclear fusion or something.
And there's a bunch of rocks up there. So yeah, here you go.
I'm not going to sunsplain.
Yeah. But the moon, what's that made out of?
So dumb.
Just a giant rock.
And she's like, let's just stay here forever. Again, they've known each other for like, maybe a week tops.
Yeah. I don't know how much time has passed in the Sparks universe right now.
I wrote it in my notes. If I could, I would stop watching this movie right here and watch Clowntergeist 100 times in a row. Like I would stay up for 4 days, watch Clowntergeist over and over again. And if I could have just stopped that movie there.
Just got into some weird fever dream kind of state, watching Clowntergeist over and over again on repeat again.
Again. I don't have to watch The Choice. I don't have to watch The Choice.
What's wrong with Jared? We broke him. The podcast has broken him.
Yeah.
All right. So next day, where are we headed? We're headed to back to the vet.
Yeah. We're Dr. Pastor Daddy.
Dr. Pastor Daddy makes a move on Alice and her dogs.
Fails to make a move first. And then the receptionist is like, come on, Shep. Yeah.
Get out there. And he does.
He goes outside then. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you want to go get a drink sometime? She's like, yeah, sure. And she just walks away. He's like, I guess I've got your number. I look it up.
All right. Bye.
No other plans made whatsoever. Cool. Now what?
Yeah. Cut to Travis.
And he's
setting up a second chair.
He's so happy he put out a second chair. Things are changing. He's changing, again, Jared. He's growing up.
It's been a week.
He's growing up.
Yeah. I wrote down 2 days here in my notes because that's what it seems like.
He's in love. And then we're back to the hospital, right? Yeah. And Gabby gets a call on line 1 from Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, I'm home.
Baby.
Let's meet up at Dockside later. I know how much you love Dockside.
7 p.m. sharp. It's like, what?
Yeah, my parents are going to be there.
SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pick up the bill. And then we're at Dockside, right?
They definitely did. Yeah.
Then we're at Dockside, right? And
Gabby looks wicked uncomfortable. She shows up immediately and is like,
So there was no plan for her to meet Travis there, was there?
No.
Oh, he was just there drinking.
Yeah, that's just what he does.
Oh, okay. Right. Dockside and his house side. Okay.
As far as, unless I missed something, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she could. Yeah, okay. She didn't want to go there because that's where he hangs out all the time. So he's just a big alcoholic then.
That's right.
Now it's making sense.
In case you haven't noticed, he's like been doing like surgery on puppies while he's having a couple beers, and
you just have a tough day at work and killed a dog. This for you.
This for you.
Grab a butt.
Grab some.
That
was their best slogan, in my opinion. So
grab
good.
some. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'll just grab some. Have some.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
Good marketing, not a sponsor.
Okay, so we're Dockside.
Just beep all of that.
Yeah.
My sister. Shout out to Elizabeth. She texted me one of the last things that you had to bleep in the episode, and she was like, "It's it's killing me. What did you bleep?" And I was like, I told her, I was like, you get insider info if you ask for it.
Yeah, if
listeners, if you ask for it, I'll tell you what we're bleeping.
Yeah. So I gotta bleep out all of
every brand. Oh
my God.
This has been a very product placement heavy episode.
All right, so we're at the Dockside here, and Travis is getting shithoused at the bar. He's not really getting shithoused, but he kind of is. Maybe he is. Yeah. And then so Gabby meets Ryan, and Travis sees like, oh, okay,
and does a psycho move.
Yeah, right.
He approaches the table, and he's like, hey everyone.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Yeah. And this Dr. Daddy is like, oh, Travis, other Dr. Son.
I love you.
We love you. Like two Dr. Son combos in the same town. What are the odds?
Yeah, right. Well, I
guess
mean,
maybe pretty good because it's.
he's town. Like, you're not like a real doctor.
Right. True.
He looks down on you, like, hey, oh, you're a vet. You're not like you're not like saving lives like me and my son are. You're like the poor. Right. You're like the poor doctor.
But he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Good boy. But good boy. Yeah. Pats him on the head.
Join us for dinner.
That'd be kind of funny. Good boy. Aw, pats him on the head. Good boy. I'm a vet. I'm not a goddamn dog.
Well, I believe the exact quote is, "Nice young fella there." And the mom goes, "He certainly is my hero."
There goes
did you catch that
hero.
Line?
No, I didn't.
Like what?
Maybe Travis had a little fling with the mom there.
Interesting.
He is single.
Has been known to do that.
He is single, ready to mingle. A couple buds at the dockside.
Yeah.
Ryan's mom shows up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so that's when he's like walking away. He's like, "All right, no, I'm not going to join you. See you later.
See ya. Smell ya." And Gabby's all flustered, and she gets up and runs after him. And
like, "Excuse me." And Ryan's like, "Wait, what?
What's wrong? What's wrong, babe?
What's wrong, babe?
What's wrong, babe?" He's not that bad, but
no, he's like he's the victim here.
Yes, he is. So she runs after Travis, and then we have the classic, like, the two characters finally butting heads and yelling all of the flaws about the other character to the character. Right. They have the big argument. Well, you're the stinky head, and they go through all their,
Yeah.
And it's
classic,
like, okay,
Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah, just let's get that down there. Very passionate, very emotional, and Travis just throws it all out there. He's like, I'm come home with me, come back with me, or come back.
I love you.
He says it a million times, right? And he's like, and that's what you want. He's like, there's a big Nicholas Sparks between us here, and you could you feel it? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then he quotes her to herself. He's like, "Remember when you said let's stay here forever a couple scenes ago?" She's like, no.
You said that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess this is like we get another rich life thing, right? Doesn't he say something about how like that she's rich, where she comes from some rich family, and she's like, you don't know, right? Yeah. You don't know me and like, whatever.
Country boy going to the rich city girl's house. Woo-wee.
Yeah, and she's like, you don't know me. So, because we've only known each other for a week, so
you know me. Yeah.
You don't know me. Which now it's all come and make more sense later on. Property. Anyways, okay, so
and then thank God. I feel like we're really gonna breeze through the rest of this movie because it's like,
I hope so.
Okay, montage time. She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter, and then she do a bunch of exposition. She's like, "Well, guess what? I told Ryan everything. He stormed out, told me to go to hell.
He did some verbal domestic violence. It sounds like.
Yeah, he like assaulted me,
called me a bunch of names, and was was screaming at me.
Really messed up.
Like, and then he's like, then he left, but he came back.
Yeah, the next morning he came back and asked me to marry him. Life's about choices. In case you forgot that exposition that you did at the beginning, right or wrong doesn't matter. She says at one point, she's like, life is gonna pass you by.
My God. And then she's literally, it almost like kind of starts like quoting Ferris Bueller, and it's like, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and take a look around, you could miss it. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, you just quoted Ferris Bueller.
Yep.
And Travis is sad. He pulls in his second chair, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he's like banging Monica again though, because there's a quick flash of her watching him out the window, hanging out with Monica, doing Monica stuff. Yeah.
Him and Monica are hanging. And then they're on the porch swing. And then this is where we get right from the trailer, right? This is Monica from the trailer, just basically another supporting character giving our main character a bunch of like thematic advice.
Yeah.
And she's like,
didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be like her making a stand for herself or something. I don't know. It was
weird. She's just more in support of. Yeah, she's more in support of the two of them, basically. What it comes down to, right? She's like, you'll never look at me like you look at her, and I see she looks at you
fucked up.
Yeah, and she's like, you got to swallow your pride and all this other stuff, and
she's just like it's also kind of lazy writing, I think, because she's just like, I'm just going to give you some advice and then I'm going to go home and cry. And you're like,
yeah, and
oh,
she's gone for the rest of the movie. That just gets rid of that character. I think she doesn't
basically, yeah.
She doesn't pop.
She comes back, I think, briefly, maybe in one of the end scenes, but
yeah. Then we're it's a weird thing.
She's basically just like all any woman ever wants is a man that will fight for her.
Yes.
Like you have to like don't make this your stand now. Like go fight for Gabby.
Make this your last stand
years later. Right. Yeah.
And
he's just like, and he just doesn't say anything. He's just like, listen, you can't see it, but I'm making a dumb face.
Yeah. So are you telling me you don't want to have sex then?
Well, only thing one woman ever wants around these parts.
I'm a porch swing. So you telling me you don't want to sleep together tonight? Do you want some of this? I was doing a slow reveal. Listeners, you can't see that, but
yeah, you hold up a label reveal.
Maybe the day we're on YouTube, you'll see all these inside jokes we do to each other.
Perhaps
visual jokes. Okay, so we get some beach shots. Cue the music. We got a truck ride, right?
Yeah.
Put the Chevy to the levee, or what was this? Put the pedal to the metal, Chevy to the levee. Yeah. American Pie.
Yeah. It's like almost montage like because it's very fast. Like he's driving around, goes to the hospital. He's like, Gabby.
Like a psycho person. Like, whoa. Yeah. So you can't just come in here yelling someone's name. Like
Ryan pops in. He's like, whoa. What are you doing? Like, no, of course she broke off the engagement, ran away. And then
runaway bride here.
Decks him in the face.
Straight from the trailer. This is all from the trailer.
And I'm glad there are no consequences for Ryan for punching Travis because Travis earned it.
I agree. Yeah. And then we cut back to the truck. He's fixing up his bloody nose, and we're headed to South Carolina.
Yeah, and we're end up on some like rich, fancy plantation. It's that property that she's talking about.
So the mansion that I was like, oh, so this is her home. This is where she grew up, right?
Same.
And it's not. So he comes in, right? And at first I was like, oh, it's the classic, is it the help or the parents joke?
Yeah. So the butler opens the door and he's like, excuse me, sir, who are you looking for?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm looking for Gabby. And he's like, oh, Gabriella. Like, I believe she's out by the stables. And so like she's out walking with this old couple from the stables, and like you assume that they're her parents, obviously.
That's our distinguished man and distinguished woman, by the way. So
that's the distinguished man and distinguished woman. Got it.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing a bit where they were doing like a reverso.
That's what I thought too. So
I thought that those were his parents like doing pretending to be servants but actually living there.
Right. Yes. But they actually are the help.
They're the help. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Very frustrating.
Very frustrating. So unnecessary.
And then this scene is like horrifying to me. Like I was agog.
And so this is straight from the trailer, but there's so much more to it, and it's even more uncomfortable. Like the trailer, like it's trying to play off as being kind of like funny, cutesy, but it's just like, it's not. This is. She's saying no, and she said it multiple times.
I was not agog. I was aghast, by the way.
I was going to say, I don't think agog is what you were looking for, but I was going to go with it. I was like, agog.
I wanted to correct myself. Not apologizing, but
I wouldn't seek an apology for that.
Yeah. This way the listeners don't have to,
Yeah. So this is all weird. So this is straight from the trailer, right? And it's a scene where he's basically confessing his love and looking to the parents who he's now, this is the humor. This is the joke of the whole skit here. Is a little, he's looking to the parents who he thinks are her parents. Is the distinguished man and gentleman who actually own the place.
Right.
And he's asking them if he can ask, take her hand in marriage.
You should probably ask your parents.
Yeah. And he turns around and it's the help. And he's like,
and they're like,
got you, fucker.
Yeah. And then this is the part that I really hated.
Yeah.
Is this next part. Which is like horrible. So he's like asking about marrying the daughter here, Gabby, and she's like screaming no.
Yes.
The whole scene. She's like, no, like I can't, no, I won't marry this guy. No. And she's like, and the dad's like, you got a ring, son? And
everyone's completely ignoring her. Like everyone.
And the mom's like, "Oh, here you go. Just have my ring." And he's like, "Great." She's like, "No, no." And Dad's like, "Well, you might as well take a knee, boy." He's like, "Oh, good point."
And then she's like, "I don't love him." And
no.
And the mom's like, "Oh, you do. I saw it in your eyes." It was like,
yeah.
What? Jesus. What? Pump the brakes, Mom.
Yeah. So then he's down on one knee and he's like, "Will you marry me?" And she's like, "No."
She's still like, "No."
Yes. He just like screams yes at her. Yes. And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Yes." And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Yes." And then he stands up and he like holds her and he like grabs her and he's like, "Bother me for the rest of my life."
Like,
and then she goes, "Okay." Like that's what happens.
Her mental defeated state of like five people just like hammering her on this.
Just berating her while she's like screaming no. It's a nightmare. Oh my god.
It was so weird. It was so
I terrible. Do not consent. This is horrible. Like this is a nightmare scene. She's about to be abducted by
she's basically forced into marriage.
Yeah. Horrible. So then now cut to the next montage where they're getting married.
Yep.
And they're sitting on the porch and I'm blending all of this together.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This whole next montage because what's in between? Really?
So this is like this speeding up of life.
Yeah.
Like this is like the next 7. Well,
this is the next 7 years. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is really like, what the frick? We're like, we're at maybe a third of this movie left.
Yeah.
And everything happens. So yeah, go ahead. Like they get married.
Yeah. So they get married. They're like sitting on the porch and they're watching each other. Then they're in bed snuggling. Boat stuff. Ultrasound.
She's preggers on the boat on the dock, hanging out, still the same homes.
Yeah. Then there's a little girl
fishing with the daughter.
So years have passed.
Another kid is there or coming. Right.
Second kid. There's a picnic
with the kids.
Yeah. The kids are like preteens now. I thought they were like 12. They're like 13 and like eating ice cream with mom. Apparently they're supposed to be like 6, which is really unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are not 6-year-olds.
So
hormones in the milk these days, you know.
So then we get to the moment where you can feel it now. And I was going to send you a text. I was like, oh, here it comes. The best part.
Yes. Same. I was like so pumped. I wrote in my notes, yes, finally. She's driving late at night in the rain.
Yeah. So they started out with that and she calls Travis, leaves a message, whatever. And he's caught up at work, right? He's trying to close up shop. And I guess, he's like, hey, yeah, we're going to go on a date. I blew her off last time. And,
unbelievable.
Right. And she's driving this crazy storms rolling in, right? And she shows up at the restaurant and she's sitting there by herself, texting him via BlackBerry. And
which now this is 2016.
They have the same phones. Yeah.
Real smartphones are even more common. And you're like, wait, these are like the same phones as earlier and they're weird BlackBerry phones that don't make sense.
Yeah, they're not a thing anymore. And then Travis is trying to close up shop and then we get a last minute patient. My cat, lady, get out of here. Who cares about your cat?
I was really hoping that Ryan was going to be like at the bar, just being like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in 6 years."
Yeah, how are the kids? It should have been mine.
Yeah.
So then, so she's still alone, waiting, has a glass of wine. She texts him, blah blah, and then waitress comes over and she's like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm done. Give me the check. I'm out of here. My husband's a jerk."
Yeah.
So she bails, and he's on his way now. So we get like this.
He's leaving work finally, leaving a message for her. "Hey, babe, sorry if you get this. I'm on my way."
She's in the car. Storm's rolling in. It's raining out, and then it's grilling time. She gets T-boned.
Well, she looks over and sees like a missed call from Travis, and I was like, "Oh, why didn't she call him back? Like she could have just gone back into the restaurant. She was still there." This is all her fault.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole situation really is. So yeah, she gets like just T-boned.
So which like the accident was maybe the funniest scene in the movie because it's like everything's slow motion and like the phone is like breaking on the dashboard. You're like, oh no, like there's that cheap phone, like the glass is like falling off.
They focus on it. It says in floating like missed call from Travis.
Yeah, there's no real blood in the scene, but it's like her hair is like kind of reddish and like make it look kind of like blood. And she's like, no,
PG-13 accident, you know?
Right, exactly. You're not allowed to have blood, but you can allude to it. Wicked funny. And then it like fades to black, like her consciousness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's it. She's out. She gone. Not gone.
More water transitions, and then we get to the first scene of the movie again.
Yeah, so we're back at the boat. We get the voiceover picks back up. Basically says the same thing, right?
Yep, exactly. But this time when he arrives at the hospital, I wrote down some of the lines. So like this is when Ryan was like, "I don't want to see you back here unless you bring your wife's cobbler," to his patient. And then he's like, "You're too easy." Travis is like, "You're too easy on me, Ryan." And Ryan's like, "You're too hard on yourself, Travis." Which, like, wait, what?
They're boys now.
Jerk.
Man, they're boys now. They're boys now. They get along. They probably go golfing together and stuff.
People change.
Yeah, people change. So yeah, we're back to the beginning, and then we get the big reveal. She's in a coma. She's in a coma.
He brought her delphiniums.
Aw.
She looks like she's super dying. And he's like, so then this is what I hate. And I think we can definitely breeze through some of the rest of this. But I hate this movie because they tease it again. Like he's like the fourth ending. They're like, he's like, I got a big decision to make. I wanted to run it by you.
And I was like, he's too laid back for like the real choice he needs to make. And it's like, they're going to.
So he's like, should I get a new truck or fix my old truck? And he's like, good. Fix my old truck. That's what I wanted to do anyway. And then he goes, always had a special place in my heart for fossil fuels. Just hate breathing all that clean air. And you're like, what? Because he was talking about, he's like, oh, should I get one of those new hybrid trucks? And you're like, maybe.
I don't know, man. Get a sign of the times. I don't know.
Get whatever you want. Yeah.
You have children. They need a future.
I hate breathing all that clean air. And you're like, this isn't even a funny joke. Like, why are you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, come bother me. Come back to me. And then there's more water, sunset, cut back to home. There's grandparents.
It's all stuff in the trailer. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stephanie's pregnant now, too. I'm just like running through this because it's so fast and stupid.
Yeah, I know it is. It's almost montage-esque. It's because it's just showing the passing of time of like she's been in this coma. So, yeah. Exactly.
And it's like I think they're trying to make it feel like it's longer than it is because by the end of this, it's 90 days, the whole period.
Yeah. And you see like the kids are definitely much older than 2 montages ago. So
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then basically like he's like talking to the doctors. He's all sad. He's reading to the kids, but the kids are like, we can read our own books, Dad. He's like,
a lot of whispering going on too between doctors and Shep and him, right. So a lot of whispered conversations we don't hear. We got a boat. We got the sister trying to console him, Yeah. Travis reading to the kids, but the kids are like, don't worry, Daddy, we'll read.
Yeah, we can read to ourselves now. We're grown-ups.
Like, we know Mama's dead. What?
What? So then they go back to the hospital, and they're like, Ryan's like, guys, it's been 90 days. Might as well pull the plug.
Doc, tell it to me straight.
Yeah. He's like, there's less than 1% chance of her regaining consciousness at this point.
It's a quantifiable fact that she's not coming back.
Tom Welling, you don't have to say that to be a doctor on movies. Like people will believe it if you just act like you've been it before.
There's like a little hesitation, right? And they're like, well, and he's waffling. So she signed a do not resuscitate order, right? So
yep, exactly.
Yikes.
And so Ryan's like, Travis, are you ready to carry out her wishes? And he's like, what?
And he goes to her bed, right? And he gives her one last push to come back, and he's like crying and hugging her, and Shep is sitting there. He's like, oh man, my son's having a hard time.
Ryan's like, she's tired. Let her go. And then, they're crying. Dad's crying. You're right.
And then we get another like trick moment.
Yep. Rain on leaves outside at a grave.
At a cemetery. And he's crying and doing his thing. It's like,
all I've got left are the memories. And I wish I had like loved her more and told her I loved her more. And
you manipulative writers. It didn't get me. I was like, this is his mom. It's not her. It's not her. Yeah. I was like, this is fake deaths. This is fake deaths. Right? Fake news.
We haven't had the choice yet. The titular choice.
I was like, this is bullshit. There's no way. You're going to cut that moment. So, and there's another one of those weird moments where the sister just shows up out of nowhere. He's like crying his eyes out, and she's like, hey, little brother. Or hey, big brother.
Yep. And he's like, I had a choice to make, Steph. And she's like, but you haven't yet. You haven't pulled the plug yet. And he's like, I know. I can't do it. And she's like, okay. And then it's like, okay, next scene. more leaves and rain because it's going to be the first hurricane of the season. And he's decided he's not evacuating because he wants to be near the hospital.
Yeah, big storm rolling in. The bros show up again. They take the kids. The kids are. He's like, "Here's a category 7." The kid's like, "There are no category 7s, you dumbass dad,
you idiot,
you dummy."
And then he's just like boarding up the windows and like sitting inside, crying on the floor with a lantern, looking at baby pictures and pictures of Gabby.
Yeah, actual physical photos, by the way, which no one takes those. I guess if you don't have smartphone, which they don't have, they have cameras.
Well, it's 2016. I don't know.
No one has physical photos anymore. Like, who does that? Come on.
Yeah. And now it's like, okay, hurricane over. Now he's like rebuilding after the storm, and he's like,
her house got trashed.
Her house got mauled, right?
Yeah.
But like, who cares? Because she's in a coma. So and so Dad's like, what do you like? Daddy, Doctor, Pastor Daddy comes by and he's like, got lucky that didn't hit your house, huh? And he's like, what?
Never mind, son. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, what are you looking for? And he's like, something that should be here. And it's the wind chime.
He's looking for the seashell.
Which like, isn't important at all. Like, it's not made to be important, other than the fact that they very explicitly, obviously make it important.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I let her down. If I had been on time for dinner, this wouldn't have happened. And Dad's like, it's not your fault.
Pick up the pieces, start rebuilding.
The world stinks.
Yeah. It's like the world's a terrible place.
Yeah. If it doesn't break you, it kills you. You're like, oh, okay.
Wow, Jesus,
like,
Dad.
Was that from the Bible? And he's like, yep. And you're like, okie dokie.
Sure is.
Yeah. No shame in being a broken man as long as you pick up the pieces. The end.
The end. And we're back at the hospital. We get kind of like a hospital montage-y thing where like it cuts back and forth between him kind of sleeping, not really, and then her in a coma. Him kind of sleeping, not really, and then her in a coma. And then him getting up
Alexandra. He's sorry. This is when I'm skipping ahead to the next part. Because after that brief montage, the dog is out on the water. The dog's barking. He wakes up.
So the dog's barking, and from the setup earlier where his dog doesn't swim, he's like, "How'd you get out there, boy?" Yeah. And we find the dog's barking. He boats out there, and we find the she shell wind chime.
The dog found the wind chime. Good boy.
Yep.
And then great transition. Ducks flying in slow motion. We're like, okay, what?
Alrighty.
Yeah, and then and it doesn't transition to outside, it transitions to inside. And it transitions like back to the house, and like the dad and the children are standing there watching the Travis now. Like he's like gonna go, he's like loading up pieces of the broken house into the rowboat, and they're like,
oh, I love this.
What's he doing out there, Grandpa? No, he's going a little crazy. Come on, let's get some ice cream. Okay.
Oh, that's so good. So good.
And then
and at this point I was like, this movie just has to end. It has to end now. Like end. Please end. It doesn't.
Nope.
So then we get a montage of him basically back on the little beach, right? Where he keeps all his dead bodies, and he's building something. And I was like, it's got to be a wind chime memorial or something like that for it, right?
Yeah, a wind chime memorial.
And then he built the gazebo, which is from the trailer, the shot right from the trailer. Overnight, he did some handyman work. And the chimes are hanging. The sun comes up, and the chimes start chiming. He's still sitting out there, and he's like, "Oh man, it's a sign, right?" Basically,
boat's home, and he starts running.
He's got 15 missed calls on his ride home after building this gazebo here, right? Yeah. So he gets to the hospital. He's running in. Everyone's sad, but you're like, oh man, is she dead? Did someone else pull the plug? Did she die without getting the plug pulled?
Yeah, right. Did she come back to life miraculously?
Yes. So she's alive, and I was like,
inexplicably looks great. Like they did the makeup and everything.
Yep. I was like, at that moment, I was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. And she goes, "You're late." Damn it.
So she had no brain damage, no memory issues of the accident.
It's been 3 months. It's been 3 whole months.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been in a coma, so I don't know how they work. I don't know if you wake up and remember stuff, so I don't know. Hopefully you do. But anyways.
Yep. Then they kiss, and then seagulls.
Yep. Sun rising, birds flying, seagulls flying around. She gets home, and Mama, you're home. Okay. Sis is there, and then it's this whole thing just felt like they were cramming everything in. It was just like mom's home, and then like the sister again just slides in from like stage left and was like, "Oh hey, welcome home." She's like, "Here's my baby."
The baby's been dying to meet you. She says.
It was so weird.
It's so fast, and then the next day, it's like the next day.
Like this woman's been in a coma for 90 days. Like, give her some breathing room. Let her get inside. Like, here's the baby. Oh my god. So, anyways.
Cut to date night. They're having a little date night by the water the next day.
Rain check.
Wearing a little tie.
Yep.
Apparently the kids are the ones responsible for dinner, and they were making pot roast that has now turned into a shoe.
Why would you let 7-year-olds make dinner?
I don't know. And like they're so awkward together. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's been 3 months, I guess, but like, I don't know.
Things have changed. So they do a little banter about the dogs and
right. It's stupid.
You bother me, blah, blah, blah. And then they have to order pizza, which I don't know if you'd order pizza down in North Carolina, but hey.
Yeah. And then she's like, I heard you. I heard every word you said. You were breathing for me, baby. Your heart beat for mine. And then they both cry. And she still doesn't have a Southern accent, by the way.
No, she doesn't. No. Still not there.
Yeah. And then they cry and kiss, and the dogs are like, and then Travis is like, Moby must have had all this planned from the get-go. And you're like, what? Are you saying Moby put her in a coma? Like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, no, Molly should get credit for getting fucked that one time. You're like, wait, what?
This?
And you're like, oh, I guess they are meant to be. And then she's like, you bother me too. Then Travis goes, I'm worried about the pot roast. And then they go, ha, ha, ha. And then it's like sunset.
The end. Right? No, not the end.
No, because this movie won't end.
It won't end. That's not quite the end yet. The whole family is now at the gazebo there. Right. That he built overnight that basically brought her back to life, because now he's probably a believer in God.
Yeah.
And the kids are playing, whatever. They kiss. It's nice. And it's.
That's the end.
That's the end. Gabby's point.
So the last line is something about pot roast, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, we should probably check on the pot roast. Okay. Yeah. We should probably order a pizza. Okay. And then the end. Yeah.
The end. So is this, I don't know, like, I'm assuming Nikki Sparks is a probably big religious guy. Is this just like a big, like, believe in God thing? Because, like, they have the conversation early on about beliefs, and then him not believing and not going to church. And then at the end, when, like, he builds a gazebo, we get the chimes, and he has this moment of, like, oh.
I mean, A Walk to Remember is definitely like that. I don't remember if The Notebook is like that. Do you?
I don't.
And
I'm guessing
the Lucky One kind of did a little bit of that too, I guess, right?
A little bit. I mean, I think that's probably his audience, the crowd, but
yeah. Which whatever you're into, go for it.
Whatever you're into.
Yeah, so. But yeah, that's it. What a stupid fucking movie. I hate this movie.
That said,
that being said,
be whatever you're into, but if you're into this movie, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, you're a fool. You fool.
You fool. You fool. Why have you done this?
I hope the next one we watch is more enjoyable. Let's pick
we don't know
for the next one.
Yeah, let's pick something. It might be.
It's almost the holiday special season. So.
Oh yeah, we might have to. Well, we get back into horror movies. That's what we got to get back into.
Oh, so, that's true. Well, it's Halloween. It'll be our next episode. Will be around then. So
yeah, we'll do a Halloween special for everyone. So
yeah.
Oh man, well I hope we answered all the questions and all the answers we questioned. Right?
Yeah, certainly did.
This is
happy
good.
Anniversary, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, right back to you, man. To another 2 years.
Yeah. 2 more years.
2 more. Okay. Well, yeah. I think we've done our job here.
Yeah.
That we don't get paid for.
So far.
This bud's for you. Just saying.
Yeah. Grab some buds
and hang with your buds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with probably a new movie. Well, we will be.
But a trailer trash.
Yeah, trailer trash. We'll probably do like a little Halloween special, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter. Tell a friend about us. For another friend in Idaho. Now we need countries, so let's start pulling countries.
I think we're in about 73 countries last I checked. So
sounds about right. Yeah.
There's like 200 countries recognized by the UN. So
yeah. So let's let's get on it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then wherever you listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, just subscribe or.
Yeah. And while you're subscribing or following, you can also be reviewing. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a little comment, something they think about. Or you can send us long form feedback. Send us an email. We love reading your emails when you send them. We'll read them in the trailer trash next week. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or go to the website where we have all the information that we just said, even more information. If you love information, it's a place where you can get information.
So much information.
How much can we say information? And then
just
all the episodes, all the old episodes as well. Like you can listen to, at this point, more than 100 episodes of ITMT.
I mean, each of those episodes have a ton of information within them. So,
so much information.
Right.
It's thismeetsthat.com is the website with the information.